Okay, welcome to World of Warships, and as you can see here, I'm driving my Tier 5 Japanese destroyer, the Kamikaze, and yeah, I know, another Kamikaze replay, but hey, trust me, I think this one's worth the effort as well. So, anyway, start out. What's the plan? And as usual in my Kamikaze, at least starting on the new Dawn map on in domination mode, I'm going to head out towards A. Now, first guy comes in, other guy comes in chat here. Rebel Yeller comes in, and he's driving to St. Louis, and he says he's going to head down to the I line and cut west. But frankly, I think that's not the best idea unless the team moves strongly that way. I think a better idea would be, for example, what I'm about to say in chat. For him to go to the B point and help out our destroyers against whatever enemy destroyers show up there. And as you can see, there's a couple of Gnevnis and an Isokaze and a Kamikaze. Although to be honest, I don't expect to see the Japanese destroyers in the B point. On the other hand, we have a Nicholas and a Gnevni. Back them up with a St. Louis. They might be able to do a pretty good job on the enemy destroyers. But of course, first off, no plan survives. Well, as Murphy's laws of combat say, first off, no plan survives contact with the enemy, and second off, professionals are predictable, but the world is full of amateurs, and in this particular case, we do have some low-tier players, tier 3s and 4s on both teams. So, St. Louis, it's a good ship, but if it's alone, it is going to get, like any other ship, it's going to get chewed up fairly quickly. So, anyway, like I said, I'm heading out towards the A point, and I'm moving along pretty smoothly. And our first fairly close enemy is spotted, and that's the Gnevni. No surprise there. But here in just a second, a second destroyer pops up, and it's the Isokaze. And I was like, what is he doing in the B zone, going up against our destroyers? Well, that's all right. I'm going to keep going towards the A zone. I'm not going to duck in there and help because I think they've got it under control. They've got, like I said, a couple destroyers and that Phoenix. So I'm moving along, and I'm certainly expecting to see something coming up this way. A cruiser like the Tenryu, maybe a battleship because I saw one further down a little bit ago. But what I'm not expecting to see is this wild Kamikaze there, and I'm pretty sure he was expecting to see me, but we just surprised each other point blank range. So I put a set of torps out, not trying to hit. What I'm just trying to do is trying to make him flinch and worry more about the torpedoes than worry about shooting at me. Doesn't quite work, but on the other hand, he runs himself aground, and he gets those torpedoes out. So I keep swinging around to dodge. Okay, closer than I would have liked, but clean enough. And now I'm popping smoke so I can get away from the cruiser fire that's coming in. Oh, and then I happen to take a look up, and we've lost two of those two destroyers that went to the center. And it's like, well, okay, that's all right. We can make this back maybe. So anyway, I dropped my torps on the enemy Kamikaze smoke screen, and I put one right where I thought the Kamikaze was going to be, and I put the second drop just behind where I thought, just behind the first drop, thinking that he's going to be backing up. And it looks like I caught him with one of the torps from the backup spread. I should have put it a little further behind him, but you never know. He might have decided to stay still just to fake me out. Had two rounds or two torp spreads, and again I should have put the other one out a little further. So dodge one set of torps coming in, easily dodge the second set of torps coming in, and I take a second to look at the team score and where it's, and I think to myself, well, crap, we've already lost 4 ships and they've only lost 1. So yeah. All right. So anyway. It's time to get out and make my presence known a little bit more. So I'm looking out at the enemy, and I'm trying to decide who and what I want to drop some torps on. Uh, and I probably dropped torps on that Omaha. And that was definitely just a boneheaded move on my part, simply because if you take a look, he's way outside my torp range, and he was moving away from me. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe just get it off while I can. I'm just not sure. But anyway, I'm looking again at the Omaha, and now I'm within torp range, so I go ahead and fire it. But right as I do that, I see him turning, and he starts swinging around to the to his right and starts coming right at me, and he lights me up. Okay, you know what? My guns are pointed right at him. Let's put him on target. Three of my 4 shots hit, and my torpedoes might get there, but that's okay. I need to kill this guy as quickly as I can. And I sure do. And now it's time for me to dodge those shots coming in from that Tenryu. But the Tenryu, well, he's a little too focused on me. Yeah, so we've got 8 ships. Enemy team has 9 ships. However, I'm the only one on my team who's got any kills so far, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, you know what? If you want me to do it all myself, I'll do it all myself. But come on, guys, give me a little help, okay? But looking at the mini map, real quick. Oh crap! And there's the Ishizuchi. So I go ahead and drop torps, activate my engine boost, and turn around and just motor away from him as quickly as I can. But right after I drop the torps, I looked at the target track indicator, and this dude is backing up. He came to a stop, turned around, came to a full stop, and is reversing. Now that's actually going to let him dodge this set of torps. But battleships are tough to get moving again, and if he starts moving forward again, I'm going to have a pretty accurate salvo, and that's what I'm thinking right here. And I'm just coming around and coming into range, and I see that now. I didn't quite see that Königsberg there to my left until, well, at that point I was thinking I was tunnel vision, and I'll say that it was a selfish torpedo drop. I mean, the Königsberg has plenty of time to dodge them, but on the other hand, the Königsberg he's making a YOLO run. He's trying to get his torps out on these guys. Not that I really blame him, because 2 battleships lining up like that, but that Königsberg is going to come around that corner, comes around the corner and just drives right in front of these guys' guns. And he gets hammered on the way in, and he gets hammered on the way out, and just doesn't make it. On the other hand, a couple of his torpedoes hit, but I managed to finish off one of the Ishizuchis. Not the one I was aiming at, the other one. I finished off one of them with a devastating strike. So now this other Königsberg, on the other hand, he's going in. He's got a little bit more discipline. He drops his torps and then swings towards the Ishizuchi, and I'm watching him, and it's like, nope. Right as I dropped, I thought I saw him starting to swing to the left, but no, he swings back to the right. He's just trying to keep his his bow towards that battleship, just so he minimizes the chance of taking a Citadel hit. Now the Ishizuchi has activated his repair party, but finally I get a torpedo in on him, and our Königsberg is safe, at least for a moment, or the moment. Now, the Königsberg ends up whipping it around hard to his port towards the island, but the problem with him doing that is, again, he is exposing his broadside to the enemy, and if you watch, the Gnevny is shooting at him, the Karlsruhe is shooting at him, and here comes the Wyoming. Who's going to get him? Who's going to get him? Vandu. So, I look up at the scores, and this enemy team has over 700 points. They've got 2 cap points. We've got 4 ships. They've got 6. At this point, I'm like, you know what? I am just going to I'm just going to do everything I can to make them pay. I am going to get as much damage and experience out of this match as I possibly can. So I go ahead and I drop torps in this Wyoming. And I'm thinking at this point, maybe I should head down towards the sea point. But you know what? There's a that Miyogi down there. I'm gonna see if I can't squeeze a little XP out of him as well. So anyway, Rebel Yeller's coming on here, and he's kind of right. We got to move on a base. And actually, if you take a look, one of our battleships is moving on to B, so we might be able to pull that back. But we're still going to be down more than 2-1 on points, unless we can pull some points back. Now, of course, the problem is there's the enemy Kodingsberg. We don't know where he's at. The enemy Karlsruhe is up here. We don't know where the Isakaze's at. Oh no, wait, never mind. He just popped up behind our battleship going into B, and there's the other cruiser. So I go ahead and drop on. Oh no, sorry. There's the Gnevny. So anyway, and there's the other cruiser. He pops up right next to our battleship going into the B point. And a cruiser point blank at a battleship. Yeah, if you've got some torpedoes, you might be able to do some damage, but really you need to have some luck. And he didn't have it. The Königsberg goes down. So we're capping B. I just put a couple torps, and look at what Chris Pattis has to say. Talking some smack on the enemy team there. So, I like I said, got a couple shots off the Gnevny, pops, did a 180, pop smoke, got out of there so the Gnevny doesn't gun me down, and a Gnevny can certainly gun down a Kamikaze. And there's the Isokaze, and he's obviously making a torp run on the Wyoming. And I don't know why the Wyoming's going to eat torps. There's not really much he can do about it, but at least he's going to still be alive after this. It looks like only takes 3 of them. He's still alive. So I activate my engine boost and I start chasing this Isokaze. But hey, good shot by the Wyoming right there. So now Rebel Yeller's right. We have a chance if we can get a base and kill someone, and we've actually taken the B point, and we're making points twice as fast as they are. In addition, we know where all 3 of the enemy are. So I make the I spot an inferno, and I come back and say I'm going to go after that Miyogi, and then I'm going to tell our battleships, hey, you know what? If you can concentrate on the other guys, I think we got this. So. And so, sure enough, there I go. But then, who is it? It's Chaos, I think, is going to come in. And I don't know if it's lack of map awareness or, things have just been a little too busy. But, watch what he has to say here in a second. While I'm attempting to line up my torpedo run on this Miyogi. So I was originally waiting for that target track indicator to go around behind the island, and sure enough, there's Chaos Hoki. He wants to know where the other bad guys are, where the cruiser and the destroyer are, and he's going to get a little abuse for that. But anyway, the Miyogi, his target track indicator swung back toward him. He slowed down. Now, I don't know if that was so he could keep our battleships in his sights longer, or if it was to maybe dodge torpedoes I'm putting out. But if he's going to dodge torpedoes, you got to do more than just slow down, because I got pretty close, had a pretty good chance to drop a clean spread. You notice I dropped in front of, on, and slightly behind the target track, he's sailing right into my salvo. This was pretty inevitable. He did nothing to change his course and throw my aim off. Oh, Chris Pattis, he's got a word. So, although to be honest, I think any battleship driver should have been embarrassed by that one. So, all right, so we've got the B point. They've got 2 cap points. We have 4 ships. They have 3 ships, but they're really winning. They're really winning on points, just over 100 points above us. But then there's the Gnevny. He's popping out, and what's he doing? It looks like he is making a YOLO run on the Miyogi. So I'm going as fast as I can up here. I'm going to put some shots out. I should have fired a little bit earlier. I might have got a hit. It wouldn't have been enough to kill him, but maybe it would have been enough to let Chaos Hokey take him down. But anyway, going back, the Rebel Yell, the St. Louis driver, he says take C, but C's all the way across the map, and we just don't have time to drive all the way down there. Got to get up here, got to help out. I line my shots up, and I fire, and I get 4 out of 4 hits. I even set them on fire, and I'm thinking, okay, cool. Hey, I'm going to get that 8th kill. And no! Just before you can burn to death, the Miyogi gets him, but more importantly, the Gnevny finishes off our Miyogi. Good trade. It gave them a lot more points, and it gave them a lot more points, and took more points away from us than, the points balance swung more into their favor. They got just over 150 points now, but on the other hand, we've kept the A point. But we're going to have to get to 800 points before the enemy team gets to 900 points. And Rebel Yeller's absolutely right. If one of us sinks, that's it. We can't do it. So I'm out here putzing around. I'm trying to get a good torp drop, good torp drop in, but you know what? This guy is just absolutely doing everything he can to avoid our fire. Now, at this point, he just needs to not die, and they're going to win. And I'm in the chat saying, "Can I get a Radley Walters, please?" Because I'm sure we're going to be able to kill this guy. But looking back on the replay now, I'm wondering if we have time to kill this guy. At the moment, I was trying to figure out if we had time to kill this guy before he won. I was pretty sure we couldn't win on points. So I put another spread of torps out, and again, he's moving away from me, but I just got to get him out there and hope he blunders into him. But at the same time, I know he's within my gun range, and things were getting close. So I go ahead and I take a couple seconds to get myself full broadside onto him, and I pop smoke, and it's time to activate the guns. I got as close as I could without being spotted because, again, I don't want to get spotted and possibly sunk. And I get lucky because I get good hits on my first salvo, and I get a fire started. And that's going to do it for him. And unfortunately, I am not going to get the 8th kill. But we got the win. I forget which of our friendlies got the actual kill there, but we pulled it out. And I do apologize for cutting off the tail end of the replay, but something was going on with the World of Warships replay bug. Even if I cut off as little as like 5 seconds early, then it was just corrupting the save file, or corrupting the video file. So anyway, pretty good results. 440,000 credits, 5,500 experience, a Confederate, a high caliber, 3 devastating strikes. Of course, the Kraken for getting 5 kills, although in this particular case I got 7. 129,000 damage, 26 gun hits, which is kind of a lot for a Kamikaze. 14 torpedo hits, 7 destructions, 4 fire set. The fire set at the right times. Those last 2 fire set at the very, very, very right time, because if the battleship's shots had missed that enemy Karlsruhe, I would have burned the guy down. So 12 floodings, but I killed so many of them I didn't get a lot of flooding damage. So, and again, 2,300 base experience off that. Not as much I got off the other game where the outcome was never really in doubt, but I was shooting at equal and higher tier targets there. Here I was shooting and taking down mostly lower tier, or targets that were lower tier than me. So anyway, coming to the damage on the screen, like I said, 129,000 damage, 105 of that from torpedo hits, 2,800 from fires, 8,000 from floodings. Again, you don't get a lot of flooding damage in the Kamikaze simply because what you hit, you tend to hit a lot and hit it fairly hard, and it tends to go down. So yeah, I took 5,000 damage, probably a little bit more than I should have, but you know what? I kept range, I kept my health, kept my health pool intact, and I didn't. I don't think I took any unnecessary risks with my own health. Although again, those couple of cruisers that I put the torps out alongside of, I might have taken a little liberties with their well-being. So. Anyway, going to the detailed to get 324,000 credits earned, 430,000 credits after all the bonuses, XP 2,300 base, added up, pick up 5,500 for the ship. Commander XP, I picked up a little bit on top of that because of, again, missions. So 7,900 Commander XP, 276 free experience, and that's pretty much it. So, unlike the previous match with the Kamikaze, it wasn't a case of us, of me getting a few hits and then, at that point we're running away with the game. We pulled this one back, and I give credit to the battleships as well for getting out there and capping the points that I wasn't able to cap, for putting accurate fire down range, and being pretty much in the right place at the right time, except for that poor Miyogi. So, well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think, and I guess that's it. So I will talk to you later. Bye.